Presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I'll blame my gender. Vivek has triggered establishment conning figures like Megyn Kelly about his comments about the government lying to us about 9/11. Watch how triggered this bitch is.
Footsie with 9/11 trutherism, the idea that 9/11 was an inside job. And I have to say, it's just deeply offensive on a number of levels, not to mention disrespectful to the families of the victims. Why is he doing this? This is totally unnecessary. He's rolling along just fine. This is completely unnecessary. We know who was behind the 9/11 attacks, and it was not the U.S. government. When confronted with this odd decision, he denied that he had done it, and then he blamed the dishonest media. Well, that does not work when it is not actually the media's fault and where the press has not actually been dishonest. Not to mention, it undermines other legitimate accusations of media dishonesty when a politician throws that term around just to cover his own absurd missteps. Yes, I am aware he's not the only politician to do this. But Vivek's whole rap is, I'm the one based in facts and truth. Great, let's have some.
Yeah, so you can see Megyn Kelly is triggered. We have a response from Candace Owens, and I also have a Joe Rogan clip I wanted to show you guys on this matter. Before we get into all of that, make sure you like this video and subscribe. I have a goal my husband set for me to reach 10,000 subscribers in under a month. So, guys, subscribe, share it to your friends and family, because I gotta reach that goal or else I'm grounded. I don't know. So yeah, let's get into the video. So all Vivek was saying about 9/11 was that the government lied to us about 9/11, which the government lies to us about everything. Watch what Vivek actually says and tell me if it triggers you, because it sure as hell doesn't trigger me because I'm not a rhino, bitch, like Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely was involved, and our government for 20 years lied to the American people about it.
There was an entire 9/11 commission report on this.
Sorry, I have to pause this really quickly because I love how she says, there was an entire 9/11 commission report on this, as if our government would never lie in a commission report about anything. Bitch, how naive can you be? The government would never lie to us. Give me a break.
And it lied, and it was false. And in fact, you know where that's coming out, Caitlin? There's now a federal case in the Southern District of New York, where the government of Saudi Arabia is being sued by victims of families. That's why this is resurfacing itself. It is relevant, and it turns out
in those declassified documents. But there's a difference in asking questions about Saudi Arabia's involvement and the government's involvement, and then pushing this idea that whenever your comment about who was on the plane and then was 9/11 an inside job, where you did not say no earlier. That's why it's important to clarify those comments, because otherwise it feels like you're towing the line when it comes to conspiracy theories.
Caitlin, I am guilty as charged that I do not follow the establishment super PAC donor-approved script on these questions, but I am speaking truth, grounded in fact, at every step of the way, and that's what's really elicited something of an anaphylactic reaction of the kind we saw in 2016 against a different candidate. But this...
Amen. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Vivek, but what I do like about him is that he's not just towing the line with the establishment. I think that's something that we're all sick of, especially people that love Trump. We are sick and tired of establishment figures, both on the right and the left. We're done. We're over it. We're not going to be repeating the same stupid establishment lies that everyone else is repeating. So that's why Vivek is pissing off a lot of people, and he's actually gaining a lot of support from more everyday American citizens like you and me after these comments. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I trust the conspiracy theorists way more than I trust any establishment figure. I think that's the smartest way to go, because honestly, conspiracy theories tend to be proven right down the line. I'd rather have Alex Jones for president than Megyn Kelly, which, by the way, I wanted to do a flashback at the moment I realized I hated Megyn Kelly back in the 2016 Republican primary debates with her and Trump. Watch this.
Mr. Trump, one of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
Thank you.
You see, she is unbearable, and she handed Donald Trump one of his most iconic moments ever to be recorded. So thank you, Megyn Kelly. I guess I like you for that, but I actually don't like you. Anyways, Vivek is pissing off the establishment, and he's gaining a lot of support for doing so. Take a look at what Candace Owens actually said about him. She's actually throwing a lot of support behind Vivek, even for someone who's like a iconic figure. So, Candace Owens said on Twitter, or X, "The United States has never been entirely truthful about what transpired on 9/11. Vivek will not lose a solitary vote for stating that truth. The media are upset because they assisted the government in its refusal to answer meaningful, long-standing questions about that day." Candace Owens also tweeted, "Frankly, the faux outrage Vivek is receiving is coming from the military-industrial complex of which the media is a part of. The American people know we were lied to and that the overseas wars that followed were motivated by corruption and greed." Absolutely correct. Also, friend of the show, Edward Saul, I think you pronounce his last name. I don't know, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Again, a woman moment. "Why else would the most powerful nation in the history of the world, in a uniquely unipolar moment, choose to interfere in the affairs of nations most Americans couldn't find on a map? Those who lost loved ones in Iraq and Afghanistan would be the first to echo Vivek's comments." So true. So yeah, I love to see the support behind Vivek. I'm still Trump, like Trump's my main guy, but Vivek especially, let me be honest with you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys watched the Republican debate, or if you didn't, who you thought won, who you thought lost, but I did not watch the debate. I could not care less about the debate. My husband and I had zero interest in watching the debate. If there were any shining moments, I know I'd see them on Twitter. But it seems like a lot of people are saying that Vivek won. So he's pissing off the establishment, but the people are loving it. And the last clip I wanted to show you guys is Joe Rogan talking about this entire situation with Dave Smith. Let's watch that.
We were talking about that Vivek interview, which is very interesting, where this woman on CNN, that same woman that did the town hall thing with Trump, what's her name? Caitlin?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Collins?
I know who you're talking about.
She was trying to get him to discuss certain things in a way that would look preposterous. And she was talking about 9/11. And like you said, the government lied to us about 9/11. Like, what, like, would you think the government was involved in 9/11? He's like, no. What I said was that the government lied to us about 9/11 because the Saudis were involved and they knew they were involved. And she kind of glossed over that and was saying something in the lines of, don't you think that you saying that the government lied to us about 9/11 supports baseless conspiracy theories, like supports the idea that the government orchestrated, like that's when you want to put on the full tinfoil hat with the fucking chin strap, you say the government organized and designed 9/11. There was bombs in the building. They knew it was all happening. They detonated Tower 7. You got to go full hat. And so she's trying to bring him into full conspiracy tinfoil hat. And he is going, no, that's not what I said. And he said something that's factual. And she just sort of pretended it didn't get said and that's a real fucking issue. They lied about whether or not Saudi Arabia was involved.
It's one of the biggest scandals in the history of the United States of America. It was like the biggest terrorist attack on our soil, and the government lied about what had happened and who was involved with it. And by the way, continued propping up that regime to this day. Continued funding and doing business with the same government that had high-level people involved in the attack. And they knew it and suppressed that from the American people, because it would have been, if you put yourself back in that time, it would have been such an outrage.
So true. So moral of the story is the government lies to us. Anyone who tells you that the government is not lying to us, do not trust them. They are establishment shills working on behalf of the government, who the government is not our friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like this video. And again, subscribe. I need to reach 10,000 subscribers in less than a month. So help me get there. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.